Hello, Luiginoids. This is LuigiXRules, playing Paper Mario the Origami King. In the last episode, we beat the game, and in this episode, we're gonna see what opens up after beating the game. As you can see, our tile select has a blue star on it, which could possibly mean that we didn't get the 100% ending. Well, okay, I wasn't sure if I fought every origami enemy. Also, there's a pipe here. I didn't remember there being a pipe here. Has there always been a pipe here? I wonder if it's connected to somewhere outside. Dude, do they put a pipe here after you beat the game? That's cool, actually, if they put a pipe there after you beat the game. Alright, that's really cool. I like that. So I know that a few things change once you beat the game. Ooh, there's a gallery added. Huh. Wonder what that's all about. So obviously this is going to be a bonus video, so I'm going to be going over pretty much everything we haven't done yet. Whether that means we haven't had the chance to... Oh! Okay, now that we beat the game, we've completed the sound gallery. And we still have 2 more trophies to earn. Let's go look at what those are. Okay, that's probably what that notification is about. Yeah, alright. So now let's check out these trophies. Alright, here we go. Question blockhead. You found and hit every question block in the game. Now tell us, which one was your favorite? What? Now we have Origami Aficionado. When it comes to origami, you've seen it all, and fought it all, and fought it all. Enjoy your trophy. It's not origami. Yeah, this means that we've fought every single origami character. And this is... What do collecting all music and fixing all holes have in common? This trophy! And this guy. You've done it all, Mario. So there's still 2 more things. We need to get every collectible treasure and complete the art gallery collection. However, we can now complete the art gallery collection because we have beaten the game. And I think one of the things that opens up after you beat the game is a new section of the art gallery. The Origami Castle. Ooh, and characters. Alright. Let's look at this concept art. Let's see here. Art of the Origami Castle area. Here's the battle in the sky. And Hotfoot Crater. Wow, that looks cool. I didn't remember that hole being that shining, but I guess it might have been. It's all the extra stuff. Yep, that's the volcano and Peach's castle. Look at all of those clouds that are streamers. They probably were streamers regularly, and I just didn't notice. Okay, here's the paper airplanes. That's cool. Let's look at the art of the Origami Castle. Bowser's airship itself. There's a bomb in there. Huh, okay. And some of the objects in it. Well, ain't that nice. I don't know what that circle on the top left is. That might be where we shot out from the cannon. Sweet. And page 2 here. Only 2 pages since it's the final area. But here we have the Origami Castle. Nice. It's suspended in midair, which is kind of cool. And we have part of the layout. We have the thrones, the one side thingy. And here we've got other stuff like the block pushing puzzle, the door entrance, the one room with the wall wrenched out of it, which luckily didn't go with the rest of the castle. Here we have the throne room. Yeah, you can see all those cranes and Ollie himself. Love the lighting in those, man. Here are some certain things related to the castle. Look at that. Originally it was just going to be suspended in midair, but then they decided to be a bit more creative with it. And what's this one? Some of the interior. Huh. Doesn't look too much different. Really just color change. Alright, now let's look at the characters. There's 24 different characters. Wow, 5 each? Okay. Concepts for the origami. Yeah, the ice balls and fireballs and the wings. I don't even know what that thing on the bottom right is. And hey, there's someone folding up the piece of origami to see how it would work in-game. Here we have different mechanics of it, which is just more enemies, really. That's right, we did fight Rocky Wrenches in that one area. There's Sludge Bros. These are just like all the origami characters, really. And other origami stuff. Here we have the 1,000-fold arms. Look at that rough concept art there. That's very rough art. And here are a ton of different sketches of what the origami creatures might look like. Wow, I'm glad they changed Peach's design. That looks kind of bad, but wow. That's some like early concept art right there. Ooh, a lot more spaces here. We have, ooh, a bunch of different Paper Macho enemies. Originally it looked kind of basic. Glad they improved it to look like a Goomba. Here we got the Piranha Plant. Some rough art. There's only like one of these in the game, so it's very odd that they put that much effort into it. They put so much effort into something that's like very like vaguely in the game. Here's the Stone Spike. Surprisingly no regular spike, just the Paper Macho Stone Spike. Which usually are known for throwing their spike balls directly down, but here's the Chain Chomp that was notorious for that one section. Cool Japanese art, or Japanese words and stuff. Character art. Jungle King and Space Warrior masks that really didn't have anything to do with the plot whatsoever. Then again, I didn't try using them when I couldn't, when they were the wrong choice. But here's the Boo. Oh, look at that shading. And I think that Boos can be really cute. Especially Paper Boos. I'm sad that there's no Paper Boos in this game, because Paper Boos are really cute. We have the Paper Macho Tower Power Pokey of Peril, which we will have to fight again in the Battle Lab, I think. Let's look at this, the Paper Macho Koopa Troopa. Yep, that's Koopa Troopa. Alright, now we got some big ones here. The Gooper Blooper, which is another boss that we'll have to refight. And then different mechanics with the Paper Macho guys. Like with the spikes, the bombs. Sniff it in that one area. Alright, we got bigger art now. Ooh, these are the Vellumentals, it looks like. We got different ideas for the Vellumental. Originally it was gonna be more of a old Koopa. Look at how many different designs it had. Jeez. They really put a lot of effort into that one. Ugh. Wow, originally it was gonna be like a crane or something. You know, it was gonna have a lot more tail feathers, and then they just settled on the slightly more boring look. Here's the Water Vellumental. Originally it wasn't gonna be all fat, it looks like. Wow, look at that one. That was extremely detailed. They're like, yeah, we can't have it that detailed. And then here's the Ice Vellumental, which apparently I could have used the Ice Vellumental during the Scissors fight. I saw footage of that once, but looks like this one didn't go through too many design changes. Although there's one point where I thought they might be sitting on all legs. Right, ooh, they increased these to 6 to let you know these are the last few. King, Ollie, and Olivia, including the hammer version. Yeah, there's some slightly nicer versions of Ollie there that you really don't get to see. Here we have the Paper Sumo section of the final boss. Went through a different designs. A couple different designs. Here's a bunch of character outfits. Wow, there's gonna be a lot more outfits than they ended up putting. Look at that. Look at how many different outfits they were thinking about putting them in, and then they didn't do that many. Here's section 1 here. Wow, I wonder what some of these outfits would have been used for. I guess just a photo gallery, really. In Shogun Studios. Here we have different designs for the folded toads. These didn't really change all that much. Ooh, except I don't think that huge bird thing is used. I don't think some of those are used, so that's cool. And the final piece of art, Origami Peach herself. Went through a lot of different designs, some more simplistic. I believe that one on the, like, not directly on the bottom left, but the one right next to it, I think that was the one they showed in the trailer. In the first trailer, but eventually they refined it to the one that's there now. Alright. We're gonna get a new notification soon here. And then, we've got other stuff to do. For example, now that we've completed the game, there is a new thing that we can buy. And maybe you can see how much it costs. Princess Peach costs 70,000 coins! I mean, I have enough coins for that, but geez, why so expensive, man? I think it's cool how at least there's a notification that, like, you've beaten the game. Oh, speaking of notifications, I know what this is. And here in the center plaza, there's supposed to be a giant diorama here. And there is the Origami Crane's treasure just kind of sitting right there. Now those are the two treasures that I believe are post-game exclusive. Because I don't really don't think there's anything else that's post-game exclusive. Just a few collectible treasures and a bunch of sounds that for some reason just weren't in there. I don't know why. But there's something else we've got to do. I've been holding this off for a while because I wanted to take this on while every boss was in here. The Bossatronic, whatever it's called. From completing all of these, we get a collectible treasure. Not a trophy, oddly enough, just a collectible treasure. So what I'll be doing is I'll be speeding through these because, I mean, we've already fought them before, and we already know the mechanics behind them. So, what we've got to do is, let's check this out. Let's go Earth Elemental, configuring HP, weapons, and items. And now let's start, and here's the speed up. So this is just going to be kind of unscripted. I'm just going to be talking over these bosses. What you should know is that they're all sped up 4 times. It does take quite a bit of time. I'm not sure how I'm going to find stuff to talk about for 30 minutes, but anyway, yeah, this boss is easy because you can just hit the tail and then use the 1,000-fold arms pretty easily. Sadly, I just barely didn't finish it, and apparently it can heal itself, which I did not know. And then it took me some time to figure out how to get to the tail here. But yeah, the Earth Elemental, I really did not remember very much, but the other thing to note is that you cannot buy any time or cheer while you're refighting the bosses here. So anyway, yeah, I just turned on the on switch and I finally figure out a route to the tail. He does that rough landing thing and then you can just flip him over and then attack him some more. And that's the Earth Elemental down. And so next up is going to be the Water Elemental. This guy is kind of a pain. He takes quite a bit of time, and so you just gotta attack him with a jump. And that knocks him down. I don't really know what the knocking him down really does for you, but the important thing is just you want to chip damage it until it's about to use the huge attack, and then you use the Earth Elemental. So anyway, while this boss is going on, I'd like to give some of my thoughts about this game. I think it's fun. I'm still trying to determine whether I like it better than Color Splash or not. Is it better than Sticker Star? Probably. I know that I like Color Splash better than Sticker Star, but I'm really not sure if I like this game. Like, it's either better than Color Splash or in between, probably. Oh yeah, there, I forgot that the up arrow was there. So I had to tank that hit. The other thing to note is that you have no battle accessories equipped during this, so it's really important that you keep your HP up. You also have a limited amount of items, as you'll probably see in this battle. So you want to be wary of that. As you can see, this boss has taken quite a bit longer than the Earth Elemental. And so you just gotta decide what you're going to do. But yeah, overall, the bosses in this game are pretty fun. I'm not sure if I like them better than... I think I like them better than Color Splash. Because Color Splash is admittedly just the Koopalings, and it's just chip damage until you use the required thing, and that's not too much fun. You could argue that for Sticker Star, but one, I kind of like the whole flashy stuff a lot better. Anyway, and for two, other stuff. But, I wonder, because I think I realized here that I could use the 1,000-fold arms to attack, something that I had not considered. And it actually does way more damage, so if I would have used the 1,000-fold arms earlier, I think, actually, did I? I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. Anyway, we've got the Fire Elemental. Pretty much the definition of chip damage here. You want to make sure you get the Water Elemental thing out immediately, and then try to get to it in the least amount while taking the least amount of damage, because you have a limited HP pool, a limited amount of healing items. And I guess I should also mention that you, the weapons you start with are also predetermined. So what we've got to do here is just kind of, again, chip damage it. I think more attacks deal more damage. Similar to the stapler. I'm not 100% on that by any means. And I realized that the shiny boots, flashy boot, or shiny iron boots, flashy boots, and flashy iron boots deal the same amount of damage, so there's really no point. Also, you gotta be careful that you don't take too much damage, because, as you can see, also there I just decided to try and get him to use Molten Feathers, because Molten Feathers does actually, it uses Molten Feathers sometimes, I don't know why. But here you want to be careful that you don't accidentally kill it. As you can see there, I tested Flashy Boots, see if it dealt more damage. It didn't. Turn on the on switch for the Water Elemental later. And now he's going to be fiery again, and then it's just... This boss is like practically the definition of rinse and repeat. Here I'm almost dead, and luckily I get to knock the Fire Elemental down with the Water Elemental. I'm almost dead again. But then here I take this route to get here. Then that last attack actually dealt 0 damage, because if you knock down all of its feathers, it actually charges up like that. And when it charges up like that, you have pretty much a free opportunity to use the thousand-fold arms, which I did not realize. That would have probably made this boss way easier if I would have realized that there was like actually a way to tell if you were enough. Anyway, now we've got the Ice Elemental. One of the it's not very hard, but that's just because there's really easy cheese strats. As you can see, the Fire Flower actually does deal some damage, and that's when I realized, or no, it was earlier that I realized the other thing, but yeah, for this boss you want to open the chest so that you can get the Fire Elemental and or the on switch, I don't remember which. And then you want to just use the thousand-fold arms because that stuns it, and then you can deal a lot of damage with your other attacks. Because the on switch goes back into the chest, which you want to be careful of. You'll want to block most of the attacks because, again, limited healing. And for the ice things, you want to try and do something similar to that. Open the chest as many times as you possibly can, so that you can do other stuff. And now, it's just rinse and repeat for now. Of course, it gets harder later. But, yeah, how do I feel? So since this is the final Vellumental, I guess I should give how I feel about the Vellumentals. I think it's interesting. I would have preferred it if there was, like, something else I could do. Or, like, if there was, like, one more for the 5th chapter, because it's kind of awkward that there's only one for those chapters. Also, I'll be going to my home menu a lot to kind of cheese the boss. One thing to note is that when you cheese the boss like this, it actually doesn't increment the timer either, so it's a really easy way to do that. I'm very unsure that I am doing the right thing here, so you'll want to keep that in mind. So, yeah, this Ice Elemental really is really easy just because of the cheese. Sadly, you can't really use the thousand-fold arms up close very easily because of how the ice maze thing is set up. You want to take a catcher and then save a recording. Then you might want to pay attention to this, but also note that he'll pretty much always, I think he will always freeze the thousand-fold arms spot, so you'll want to, move it across it like that before you move the other rings. So yeah, that's pretty much all of the Vellumentals here, so I'm gonna cut back into real time here in a second, now that this boss is over. Alright, so in conclusion with the Vellumentals, the Water Vellumental actually took the longest out of all of them, surprisingly. Unsurprisingly, the Earth Vellumental took the shortest. So, yeah, the Fire Vellumental, really the hard part is figuring out how exactly to edit its HP, or you can just knock it down until it does the charge thingy at the end, which I didn't realize you could do. But you can do that, or that. And the Ice Vellumental you can just use cheese strats on. Alright, now I'm gonna go save, and then it's on to boss battles. Now, the regular bosses, of course, there's more of them, so this is gonna take a significant amount of time. And you might notice that I started with the tape. That's because I wanted to get the hardest ones out of the way first, or at least the ones that I thought were going to be the most annoying out of the way first. The tape is, of course, the boss that I took the longest time on in-game. I think it took, what, 40 minutes, I think, in-game. And, of course, it's I know a bit more of the strategies here because I've fought it before, and I guess that's it, really. So I figured out how to hit the front that time. One thing you'll want to do, you'll want to try and be on the side that there's more stuff destroyed, because it does less damage when there's stuff destroyed on it. So yeah, I think it's cool how there's a legion of stationary. Like, as you can see there, that I didn't block and it dealt 10 damage, but yeah, what you want to do is try and smash stuff that you haven't smashed already. that's the best I could do for that round. And it did like 8 damage there. Yeah, the tape is probably my least favorite of the regular bosses. And possibly my least favorite of all of the bosses now that I've figured out how to do the fire elemental correctly. Alright, phase 1 is down. Now for the annoying phase in phase 2. So my strategy for this was to at first try and figure out how I could use either the fire elemental or the 1000-fold arms. Yeah, I go for 1000-fold arms here because it does tons of damage. As you can see, I think it does like 12 times 10, so like 120 damage, whereas you'll want to use the fire elemental occasionally though, and I got really lucky with that setup, so that you can burn up all the tape, but it only does 20 damage, so the 1000-fold arms is definitely the preferred option. And now, this is or not this one, not quite this one. There's a different setup that's way worse than this. And so what I'm trying to do here is grab some HP along the way to this battle space because I couldn't really get the chest that turn. And again, it dodges every regular attack. Now you want to be careful because there's a lot of tape on the ground. As you can see, this boss has already taken way longer than any of the elementals. So, yeah, because if you remember, the tape was the longest boss. I guess I'm just rambling at this point, but while we're talking about this, I guess I could talk about how this is essentially like, oh yeah, here you can't grab it while it's like that. So one really cool thing is that the bosses here are pretty much the things from Sticker Star, and I love the things from Sticker Star. Color Splash had less things, so I didn't like them quite as much. Oh yeah, this is the terrible thing right here. That was the terrible layout that you just want to pass whenever that happens. So now we'll use the Fire Elemental. I was worried that this would kill, although you don't really get bonus points for using 1000-fold arms finishers. So now we get to use the 1000-fold arms, and we do finish it with the 1000-fold arms, but just saying you don't get extra points if you finish them off like that. So as you can see, that took almost 16 minutes, and the next hardest that I was not looking forward to was the scissors. This guy is a pain because if you die, then, or if it hits you, then it insta-kills you. Luckily, you do get legendary boost for that, and it doesn't really have that much defense. It has a ton of HP though. So you want to try and attack it. Don't use, whatever you do, don't use the 1000-fold arms. What I found interesting is, if you deal enough damage, then he just unsheathes anyway. And so you want to be really careful here because it's just a chip show right now. So you want to use the legendary I tried the shiny hurl hammer there just to see how much damage it dealt. But now is the interesting thing. As you might be able to see, he didn't destroy the Vellumentals that time. Every single time he destroyed the Vellumental, or every time he used Cutting Board in the first time I fought this boss, like actually every single time he chopped up the Ice Vellumentals. But then again, I was the one that triggered the sheath itself. Also, you can't attack regularly there. He'll use Cutting Board, but not destroy the Vellumentals again, for some reason. I don't know why the Water Vellumental is there, because what you want to do is you want to freeze it and then use the 1000-fold arms on it. So this boss has made it significantly easier once you once you use the Ice Vellumental. So one thing I'm wondering is, if you destroy this sheath, does it, like, force you to use the Vellumentals? And just to be safe here, I decided to use the Vellumental because I wanted to try for the 1000-fold arms finisher, and looks like I'm going to. Because when I destroyed the sheath in the first fight, he always blocked it. He always cut up the 1000-fold arms or the Vellumental spaces, so I didn't even think of using any of them. So the Handaconda was the one I was looking forward to the next least, because the second phase of it is literally just luck-based. And then one thing I hadn't even considered is trying the Hurl Hammer. The Hurl Hammer would probably be really useful for this fight, because you can stand farther away. But also, apparently, it's not based off of number of hits, it's based off of amount of damage dealt. And now it's rock, paper, scissors time. So what you gotta do is, I chose to grab the hint. You don't want to grab the hint if you're going for a good time. And as you can see, I get really lucky there. And get it first try. And then I just decide to go for the same thing again, because it's just luck-based. And I get lucky twice in a row, so that means I just demolished the Handaconda. Look at that, that took less than 3 minutes. I'm so surprised by that I just stay there. Next is Rubber Band, because I was really not looking forward to that final phase. The final phase was kind of scary for me. It took me a minute to remember how exactly these things work. You can get double bounced like that. Remember, what you want to do is you want to stand right in front of it and then snap back. And this is the first time I ever got rubber bound. And I was so scared. Look at that. That dealt like half of my HP. I guess I didn't mention that yet, but your HP does get set at the beginning of each match. So this one, I was trying to figure out how I could try and get the 1,000-fold arms closer, but I eventually just gave up. And then we'll want to go here. Snap back. Not deal as much damage as we could have. Like, seriously, this is the first time I ever got destroyed by Rubber Bind. Luckily, it didn't kill me because I was standing further away. And I think his amount of damage is less as well if you're standing farther away. Similar to how yours is. I tried to grab some HP there, and that's why I went for a battle space here, because I was trying to collect some HP. I was going to call his Rubber Bands back. The Rubber Band is a pretty straightforward boss, because of course it's later in the game. Or it's earlier in the game. I accidentally lined up all 3 of the battle spaces, so they're in the worst possible spots, but whatever. Yeah, I couldn't figure it out, so I'm like, whatever. I decided to use a power block here just to see what it does. It doesn't really do anything. See, look at that. I failed to Rubber Bind 3 times in this match, whereas previously I had not defeated him at all. So because of those few slip-ups, this boss actually ended up taking a really long time. Like, way longer than it probably should have. The 2 times damage doesn't affect the 1,000-fold arms, in case you weren't aware of that. So now we have the final phase here. You want to make sure you go into this with at least a decent amount of HP, because it can be really hard to grab him sometimes. As you can see, I'm failing, and he does 25 damage every time you fail. Then you can flick him away, which is cool. I like the bosses that have the custom 1,000-fold arms finisher. Sadly, the scissors does not have that. Next up, I wasn't really not looking forward to any of them, so I just decided to go the rest of them in order. What you want to do here, if you don't remember, you want to, of course, close the lid either by using the hammer or the 1,000-fold arms. And don't do what I'm doing here. I decided to try the 1,000-fold arms. You don't want to, because I know that the 1,000-fold arms usually does a lot of damage, but it doesn't do anything if you do it the second time. So let me see here. While we're talking about this easy boss, I do like this game. Still trying to determine if I like it better than Sticker Star or not. I probably do. Sticker Star, I admit it's not the best Paper Mario game, but I think that this game is not as good as Color Splash, but it might be better than Sticker Star. At least the bosses are pretty creative. I like that about it. Instead of just giant versions of enemies or the Koopalings, which I liked at first. Oh yeah, if you don't remember here, you just want to use 1,000-fold arms. So in my official tier list, I'd probably place it between Sticker Star. I'd probably place this game between Sticker Star and Color Splash. Okay, and now I decided to take a break in the recording, but that's not noticeable. Now, what I'd suggest doing, listen to the Hole Punch's music once in a while, because the Hole Punch music is really good. But yeah, the strategy here is you want to attack it in its back. And you want to be sure that you block because of all of that. And then you want to use the Earth Elemental in the second phase here. But you also want to make sure that you try and get the battle. Ooh, sorry about that. The battle space afterwards. As you can see, we only have 33 HP. That's, again, because we don't have the special equipment that is given to us from the HP up accessories, which I believe you'd have silver HP plus by now. When he charges up like this, you'll want to use the Earth Elemental. And so I was talking about this game. I really think I've said my final thoughts. The exploration is pretty darn cool. But overall, it's an okay game. Definitely, I'd probably say it didn't really live up to my expectations, but not everything can. Anyway, now I get the chance to finally use 1,000-fold arms here. And it just... And it actually lets you try and tear it off, even if it's not going to work like that. Luckily, unlike the Fire Elemental, it doesn't restore all of its HP. Also, yeah, I ended up killing it without the 1,000-fold arms finisher, which is a shame, because that's one of the bosses that actually has a custom 1,000-fold arms finisher. Anyway, here we have a non-Legion of Stationary or Anaconda boss, the Sumo Bros. This one is extremely easy. You just want to attack the guy with the on switch on his back. That's it, really. Just ignore all of the others. Sadly, you can't kill him in one excellent legendary hammer because you don't have any attack ups from the HP. You do have more HP, but you don't have the attack ups that you can get from it. You want to block the attacks, of course. Doesn't deal too much damage. And now you just want to use the Earth Elemental. This boss I really don't have much to say about because it's extremely easy. Because you can kill those guys and then they can't attack you. And then they'll steal the Elementals. Again, for here you want to attack the one with the Fire Elemental. And it takes me some time to figure it out. I do end up getting the 2 times, and then I can... If you get the 2 times, you can one-shot them. And I forgot how you block that. Now it's very easy. Just attack with the Fire Elemental as fast as you can. You know, one thing I've been considering, I might go back and complete some of these again. Anyway, here we go. I think this is the last of the regular bosses here, the Stapler. This one, I was not too afraid of. I'll say right now, it took me some time to defeat, but it's very straightforward. You just want to attack with jumps from the back as much as possible. Try to use the +1 action as much as possible, because you want more. In this fight, it's quantity over quality. As you can see here, I actually managed to run it out of staples before it charges. And when it's like this, you want to use 1,000-fold arms. I like how this boss has a 1,000-fold arms finisher. For some reason, not all of them have 1,000-fold arms finishers, and I really don't know why. But I decided to opt for the chest here, because he stores them sometimes. Oh yeah, that was the first time I ever didn't block that attack. It deals quite a bit of damage, as you can see. There, I figured that out. Luckily there were 100 HPs, because this is pretty... I mean, this is literally the second to last boss in the game. When he uses that attack, it does tons of damage, so you want to make sure you block it. And for here, I used 1,000-fold arms, and I tried to get some HP. And surprisingly, I'm actually close enough to deal max damage here. Now this boss is also pretty rinse and repeat, so I'll just tell you that right now. So just make sure you're good at blocking and stuff. I actually think I like this boss because it's simple and not too hard to understand. It's a bit easy for the second to last boss in the game, but I think it's quite fun still. And one odd quirk about this, because we don't have Silver Guard Plus or any of the Guard Pluses, this guy actually deals damage with his Bite Barrage when he doesn't have any staples. If you remember, when we had the gold guard plus and guarded it, he didn't actually deal any damage, but it does deal 1 damage if you don't have any accessories equipped. Also, I just barely didn't kill him with that. So I assumed, oh yeah, the next jump will probably kill it. And it's like 1 HP off from it, so... And then I missed some of the blocks there, so I got really nervous. And so I decided to take the risk anyway, and yeah, that killed it. So now that we're done with that, I'm going to cut back into normal commentary. So, in conclusion, with the regular bosses, the rubber band took way too long. The tape took the longest, and the Handaconda took the shortest, just because I got really lucky. And won twice in a row. The scissors, and I think the scissors, we learned about a new mechanic about it, that made it much easier. And Boss Sumo Bro is still incredibly easy. Now there's only one more set of battles, but of course, I know it saves after every time, but just to be safe, I'm going to save again. These I'm looking forward to, though, because they're much more immersive. So I'll see you after I save. Alright, here we go with the... What is it? The Paper Macho enemies. The blooper is extremely easy. There's no reason you should struggle with this fight. Even when it starts doing that, you can just jump, hammer, jump, hammer, jump, hammer, jump, hammer. Easy. Then the second phase is pretty easy too, especially since you can attack it like that. Although I forget about invincibility frames and that wave attack. I always forget about that wave attack. Then he just has way more invincibility frames than I expected him to. Luckily, I do manage to survive on 6 HP. As you can see, that only took barely over 1:40. I couldn't really do that much more optimally. This guy, however, I probably could have done more optimally. You want to watch out, wait for him to fall, and then you do want to smack one of the ollie spaces. I completely forgot about that. Also, that twister totally spawned on top of me. Also, it does not spawn you, like, away. Yeah, and you only have 1 mushroom to do this. Sadly, it does, only gives you 1 mushroom for this fight, which I'd say this is probably the hardest of the elementals, Paper Macho enemies. You just want to be careful, really. Also, I get hit there instead of hitting him. Also, you get like 2 hits pretty much every time you knock it down a segment because of that. And for this last one, you just want to jump. You just want to wait for him to jump, then quickly jump on top of him and hit him like that. And that's that's 2 of the Paper Machos down already. The Paper Macho enemies are pretty easy, and since there's only 3 bosses, or 3 things that they consider bosses, it's not that hard. So, yeah, let me give any final thoughts on the game here. Also, if you stand far enough away, then you don't get hit by that, or you don't take any damage from that. So, yeah, overall, I like this game. I might play it again on my Switch Lite. I'm not going to 100% it again, though, because that's just painful. And okay, now it's just Paper Macho Buzzy Beetle. You've already seen this. And with that, we're pretty much already done with the Paper Macho enemies. Those were extremely easy. That's all of them. Wow, I gotta say, that did not take as long as I thought it was. Let's go. I like doing this sometimes, ranking the bosses from longest to shortest. Wow, the Buzzy Beetle took less time than the Pokey. So, longest battle goes to Tape. Then the only other one that was over 10 minutes was actually the Water Elemental, oddly enough. So I guess that was right in saying in my query that, or my thought that the Water Elemental is long and annoying. Third would be the Stapler. Fourth, the Rubber Band. It should not have taken that long. I was just doing very badly. Fifth, I think, would be, yeah, the Fire Elemental, which is very surprising. What would be after that? Yeah, next is just barely Ice Elemental. And then it's, Scissors. Next, I think, would be Hole Punch. And then colored pencils. Then probably Boss Sumo Bro, Earth Elemental, Mega Paper Macho Pokey, or as I like to call it, the Paper Macho Tower Power Pokey of Peril. And then it's the Paper Mistake Buzzy Beetle. And then it's the Handaconda, but let's be honest, I just got lucky on that. And the easiest boss, or at least the boss that takes the less time to complete, is the Paper Macho Gooper Blooper. Even though I almost died, I'd still stand. That is probably the easiest of all of them. So now, let's exit.
Nicely done, Mario. To be honest, I wasn't even sure that was possible. Here, you've more than earned this.
Bowser! That's right, you don't even get a trophy for completing this. Besides the whole collected all the treasures trophy. The only thing that does is gives you that collectible treasure for beating all of that. I don't know, it's like beating all levels of the ringer gives you the trophy. Beating all the bosses again, no, that's definitely deserving of that. So now, I think with that we can collect the last 2 trophies here.
Great news! I received some trophies.
The Art Collector trophy from earlier, and the Collectible Collector, not one for clearing all the bosses. No.
You've done it, Mario! You've earned every possible trophy! Now that I have the complete set, I can charge double the admission! Finally, Musée Champion will take its rightful place among the most prestigious museums in the world!
Whoa, I didn't know you were so nakedly ambitious. It's cute.
Oh, well, thank you? We should really both be thanking Mario. He's the one responsible for making my dream come true. My dream of curating the most complete and expensive museum in the world.
Yay. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Alright. And, just like in Color Splash, some toads start visiting the museum.
You're wondering about this pipe, right? Well, let me explain. Oh, it's you, Mario. You already know. So all that stuff in the museum is from you, right? Wild.
Yeah. This museum is definitely more difficult to fill out than Color Splashes. But like it, you can only complete it after you beat the game.
Why don't I even start with this stuff? Is there a guidebook or something?
Sorry, that's a no. And, yep, there's a toad in all of these rooms.
I should start drawing again.
I guess, maybe. What you got?
Shh. Just close your eyes and listen. Up, 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 up. No talking.
Is that a reference to Bup, or is it up, up, up? I think that's what he was doing. Up, up, up. No talking. Like that. Why are you in here if you're scared?
Well, those things are going to haunt my dreams now, because I'm sleeping with the lights on forever.
You know, I'm curious, what exactly is in the, Origami Castle area? Oh, interesting. The forms of the final boss are also here. So, yeah, we only saw 2 of the forms, of course. The Earth and... Oh! It actually tells you how to beat them. Send it to the ground with your boots, then use the Earth Elemental. Alright, so I just happened to get the 2 that require you to use the Elemental and then the 1,000-foot arms. Here's the Ice one. Alright, I'm not exactly sure. Wait. Oh, that's cool. You can change the design between Olivia and... Alright. And the Origami Castle enemies I wanted to see here. We've gotten all of them, obviously. Oh, alright, that's it. Cool. And what's under special? Oh. Princess Peach. Bowser and King Ollie from the Sumo Grudge match. And Olivia and Ollie themselves. King Ollie Yeah. Mighty Origami King holds a bizarre grudge against toads and vows to wipe out Paperkind with his origami army. Alright, so that's all of that done. Every single area has been 100%ed now that we've completed the game, but you see, I don't think we ever got the 100% ending. So you know what that means? I have to defeat the final boss again to see if we got the 100% ending. So that'll be the last thing we do in this episode, is try and see how exactly the 100% ending is different. So I'll just cut to when I'm done with that. Alright, I'm gonna leave this in, because now I don't want to skip the 100% ending, so I'm just gonna leave these final cutscenes in. So I should have already thought of my thoughts. I should have already shared my thoughts on this game during the fast forward sequence. So, that final boss was not that hard the second time around. My hands kind of hurt, but other than that, it's fine. Now, I'm wondering, how exactly is the 100% ending different? I wonder if it's just going to be color splash situation where it's like right after the final boss. Although it says you can skip, so I'd assume it's not different or whatever. Or I'd assume, yeah, this part isn't different. If it gives me the option to skip it. I mean, I can just skip it, but... Is the 100% ending any different? Do they show us how it's different? 'Cause now we got the party scene. I'm not sure if it's different, though. I mean, I'd assume it wouldn't be if they give us the option to skip. Alright. Might have to look up what the ending is. Oh, great, you can skip those cutscenes, but you can't skip the credits. Alright, well, I guess I'm just gonna sit here for a couple of minutes. Oh, hang on, that looks like it has a star on it now, actually. So maybe one of these scenes is the 100% ending. Yeah, there's a star frame now, which I think means that it's officially stated that this is the 100% ending. Alright, so let's see here if there's any new scenes now that we got the 100% ending. Doesn't really look any different. So far, at least. Maybe it'll be a scene after the credits, like they oftentimes have. Yeah, they're gonna watch the sunrise for a bit and then drive on. So any bonus scenes now? Alright. Cool. There we go. Here's the 100% ending. Alright. What you doing? I mean more miniature versions of them. Heh, they're mini versions. I was wondering why they were empty. I'm guessing he didn't risk the fold of life. Whoa, that's 100%! Nice. Which means I got a shiny star. I've heard that you actually get um a similar message to that if you manage to beat the game without any battle accessories. So now I'm assuming if we go in here, yep, we got a gold star now. And that is officially it for Paper Mario The Origami King. We have 100% of the game, which means there is no point for me ever playing it again. And I probably will never 100% the game again because I do not want to do Eddie River, the Shuriken minigame, or I guess I could do the Shuriken minigame, or Shy Guy or Y Guy ever again. I might play the game again, it's fine. Again, should have probably already given my final thoughts on this, but... So join me for my next series that I still haven't decided what it might be, so... Until next time, goodbye.